Yeah, hi there, this is tuxache.com again. Welcome on my video channel, and today we want to talk a little bit about neutral density filter. In regular still photography you might use a filter holder for square filters like this Nissi V5, and personally I use only two square filters. That is one with 8 times longer exposure times, and the other one is a pretty extreme one. It makes the exposure time by the factor of 1000 longer. While you can shoot in still photography, they are mostly used to blur like little rivers or the clouds in the sky to get a pretty extreme exposure time, like let's say 10 seconds, 20 seconds, even on a pretty bright day. In still photography you can shoot a portrait or details even at f2.8 or f.0. You just remember yourself the exposure triangle with the ISO, exposure time, and the aperture. You just lower the ISO, and if necessary you shoot with 1000 or 2000 of a second, and you're all done. In videography that's a little bit different, because most of the cameras like the Lumix here has a minimum setting of ISO 200 in manual video mode, and on the other hand you shouldn't shorten the exposure value. Because of the shutter rule, you should use exposure value of 2 times the frame rate you're using in your video. That means you should shoot around the 50th or 60th of a second in regular video. So since you can't lower the light, the only chance you have is using ND filter, and this time we will prefer a variable ND filter like this one from Haida. I hope you can see it when I turn around this. It gets darker or even brighter. The Haida has a filter mount of 77 millimeters. That's this one. You see the filter is even bigger to avoid vignetting, so you can use it even on a wide angle lens too. And with this one I show you here an example of a regular shot I did. I think it was done with f9.0, and even if I focused on the nearest foreground, the details in the background that are not sharp are pretty much visible. And if you want to shoot the same scene at wide open aperture, in this case 2.8, you need such a ND filter. And with this ND filter you can shoot the same scene like here with f2.8. There is a little drawback on this filter. First of all, it's signed out if you buy it with the factor from 8 to 1000 times longer exposures. But depending on the light, if you mount it on your camera, you might as well state that the smallest amount of longer exposure is around 3.5 or even 4 exposure values, and depending on the light you get to the factor 1000, but you have to be careful not to run into the so-called X pattern if you close the polarizing filters too much. On the other hand, the Haida is pretty neutral, even if you close it down almost to the maximum, which is pretty good if you don't have to correct so much in post-production. But besides the neutral colors, there's might be a little bit other problem. You might see the markers here on the filter, and the distance or getting darker is not even between those markers. So on the first 2 markers the darkening is almost the same, just rarely half an f-stop or so on. And if you turn it more to the other markets, then you reach the maximum factor of around 9 exposure values. What you shouldn't do, even if the filter itself doesn't cause vignetting on the extreme wide angle. As you can see here, I did an example on a 16mm lens, but there you see the X pattern, and because of the different angle from the sun, the blue of the sky is not even, so the image is sort of ruined. But besides that, it's the ideal thing for videos to get the exposure around 1/50th of a second, not closing down the aperture too much, and even get the shallow depth of field even in video capturing. The filter itself costs around 120 euros, which is to me a fair price considering the neutral colors the filter gets you in your images and your videos. And you should always buy, as of course, one with the widest screw mount you got on your lenses. Okay, that was my little review on the neutral density filter from Haida. If you have any questions, just place them into the comments, and surely I would like if you place a like on this video, and even more if you subscribe my channel. So that's all to say for this day. So I say till the next time, ciao, tux oche.